Now, the success of Post Malone is nothing but undeniable, and Post has practically been taking over the world for some time now. Rockstar is without a discussion one of 2017's most successful songs, and he's been doing nothing but delivering hit song after hit song after hit song. But despite all the success, fame, and praise Post Malone has been getting, I honestly feel like it's kind of hard being Post Malone. And despite all the success, it feels like at times the entire world is against Post Malone. Now, first of all, who is Post Malone and how did he come up? So the journey started for Post Malone back in 2015, specifically the beginning of that year. His track White Iverson made a lot of people look at him really wondering who this guy was, because he was coming up with a very different but yet intriguing sound that made a lot of people gravitate towards him. So the amount of eyes that were on him in such a short amount of time was insane to say the least. But it wasn't all fun and celebration for him, because around that same time he was also getting a lot of pushback from the hip-hop culture. And what was the pushback all about, you may ask? Well, the word starts with a B and ends with an S, and the word is braids. If you've been a fan of Austin for a while, then you know that when he was coming up as this new rapper in hip-hop, he was also rocking braids, and yeah, he was getting a lot of backlash for that.
You know, ever since I was a little kid, I want to go teeth. I mean, you know, I always love like shiny stuff. That's just like, you know, what I'm into. You know, that's kind of my style. But you know, the braids came across. I got braids one time, you know. And I said I felt like the White Iverson, you know.
It was a very sticky situation that Post Malone was in, because he was coming out as this new rapper with this super big new hit song that a lot of people were listening to and supporting. But hip-hop consumers all around the world didn't really know who he was. So some people might have had the thought that his looks were deceiving because he was a white rapper with gold teeth and braids, and a lot of people were kind of making up stories about who Post really was and what he was about as a person, without him actually giving his side of the story. I think he had a very good approach to responding to the backlash, because clearly Austin wasn't being someone he truly wasn't. He came into hip-hop just embracing what he was about from the beginning, which was always the music. But being 19 years old like Post Malone was back in 2015 when he blew up, and coming into a culture like hip-hop that's heavily opinion-based as far as the consumers go, that can't really be easy, especially when you are a young guy like Post, who I personally would consider an emotional person and character. Now, when we do hear him speak on things such as the hip-hop culture, it has never crossed my mind that for a second that there's any malicious intent with whatever he says. I kind of see him as him being completely transparent and speaking from his heart in the moment.
If you're looking for lyrics, if you're looking to cry, if you're looking to think about life, you know, don't listen to hip-hop.
Now, that moment right there caused a lot of frustration from the hip-hop culture back in November 2017. There was a general consensus that Post didn't really give a damn about the culture that's feeding him, because why else would he say that you shouldn't listen to hip-hop? Does Post Malone not care about the culture that he's profiting off of? And yeah, Post Malone of course responded to this.
You know, a lot of people saying that I don't appreciate hip-hop or I'm taking advantage of hip-hop. My last hip-hop album was fucking hip-hop. My next hip-hop album is fucking hip-hop. I love hip-hop. I make hip-hop. I want to take this genre, you know, and stretch it so far that people who may not listen to it, listen to it. And, you know, want to listen to the new artists whenever it's going on, and just take everything for what it is. But, you know, what I was trying to say is that a lot of people, except for a handful of artists, are saying the same shit. They're not saying anything super meaningful. And I'm 22 years old. I have not had all the life experience in the world to talk about the most meaningful shit. I just sing about what I have gone through, what's going on in my life, and what I want to sing about. Never once did I say that I don't appreciate hip-hop. And, you know, I'm just trying to keep living and make the music that I love. Thank you.
So Post Malone has always been a controversial character and has always been in hot water ever since he came out and started getting known in hip-hop. And him getting backlash for comments like that isn't really a surprise. Obviously, we didn't get a chance to hear him elaborate further in that interview, hence to why he actually went on the record and cleared everything up. So recently, about 2 weeks ago, Post Malone had an interview with GQ where he talked about a couple of things, but what I want to address in this video is a comment he made about him being a white rapper. Now, this is what Post Malone had to say about that. I definitely feel like there's a struggle being a white rapper, but I don't want to be a rapper. I just want to be a person that makes music. I make music that I like and I think that kicks ass. That I think the people who F with me as a person and as an artist will like. So one person, or should I say media outlet, who responded to what Post Malone had to say was Complex. Now I thought we could check out the Complex article together and see what they had to say. Now the title of this Complex article is Post Malone claims it's a struggle being a white rapper. Alright, let's check out the article. It's no secret Post Malone and hip-hop have a turbulent relationship. Malone clings to hip-hop as his main source of popularity and income while turning his back on it in his lyrics, interviews, and on Twitter. Now hold up a second, let's not say things that are not true. Our writer here claims that Post Malone has turned his back on hip-hop in his lyrics, interviews, and on Twitter. Now I have one question right now, and the question is, as you might have guessed, where the hell did you get Twitter and lyrics from? There isn't really a single moment in history where Post Malone has disrespected hip-hop on Twitter, let alone in his music with his lyrics like the writer claims. Now I know about the interview part because I just showed you in this video that Post did say don't listen to hip-hop, which definitely can be taken as disrespect, and there's other clips of him kind of saying, hey, I'm not a rapper, which definitely can also be taken as disrespect because you are a part of the hip-hop culture.
I'm not a rapper. I'm an artist, I don't make rap music. I might rap, but I don't make rap music. I just make whatever I like. You can't really categorize it or put me in a box or anything, I think it just comes out, you know what I mean? I don't want to call it a genre. I don't want to put myself anywhere that people want to put me in. I just want to be myself and, keep working.
So obviously I'm not here to justify the mistakes Post Malone has made in the past because he is a grown man who is responsible for what he does and says. But when a media outlet with a lot of authority in music media blatantly just makes up straight up lies to twist the narrative and make Post Malone look like a straight up fool with these outrageous claims, is just insane to me. So no, there's not a record of him disrespecting hip hop on his Twitter or through his lyrics like the writer claims. But yeah, he has made some more comments about hip-hop that even myself don't really agree with. For example, I think that he could have expressed himself in a much better way when it came to the comments about not listening to hip-hop. Of course, that's not something I personally agree with because there's a wide variety of underrated artists who may not be in the mainstream world of hip-hop, but they are definitely putting in the work and delivering the type of rap music that actually makes you think. But when Post Malone made those comments about hip-hop, do I think that it was coming from a good place? Of course I do, because it just doesn't make sense for him to come out and bash hip-hop and disrespect hip-hop. But at the same time, I did not agree with how he approached it. Yeah, the way he said it came across very wrong, and that's not something that's hard to admit at all. Now, as you can see, I addressed Post Malone's comments in an unbiased way without personally attacking him, making up lies, or accusing him of things he hasn't even done. And this is something that this article right here has very little of, and I think you definitely will agree with me. So once again, let's continue and see what else the writer has to say. It's paradoxical but not historically uncommon approach for Post as a white artist to pick and choose what he likes without caring where it came from. In an apologetic new given the opportunity to claim / de-announce a genre that he's appropriated without fully paying proper respect. Now I have one big issue with this statement right here, and that is the writer is putting every single white artist in a box. Not only is the writer doing that, the writer is claiming that it's not historically uncommon for white artists to pick and choose what they like without caring where it came from. I can't even lie, this is very much ignorance at its finest, because putting every single white artist in a box acting like all of them are out here disrespecting hip-hop because of one person, I honestly don't think it can get any worse. But the funniest part about this article is probably the ending of it. Now brace yourself because we got a big bomb coming. Post Malone wants all the access and success of being a rapper without accepting his privilege and will use tactical non-answers to keep it. He also drinks a lot of Bud Light. Now I'm not no scientist and I'm not no journalist either, but I know damn well that Post Malone drinking Bud Light has nothing to do with his music. I'm just saying. Now as you could see, the writer clearly had some type of grudge against Post Malone for some strange reason. It's like he, or it's actually a she didn't really give Post the benefit of the doubt. She didn't at least try to explore his side of the story and respectfully disagree without completely shitting all over him, which I'm very much against. The least you can do is give your opinion in a respectful way without just spitting all over someone's name and making up a bunch of BS that doesn't even exist. exist. And if you really want to read the article, the link is in the description. But is it really hard being Post Malone? To a certain extent, yes, and that's not because Post Malone has such a hard life, or you know what, he may actually have a hard life. I'm really not so sure about that, since I would personally love to be a rock star and pop some pills and a lot of if you know what I'm saying. But I've never thought that there's any malicious intent with how Post Malone has approached expressing himself when it comes to the music, specifically hip-hop of course. Does that mean that Austin shouldn't take the responsibility for what he says? Absolutely not. I definitely think he should. But I think with time, we're definitely gonna see him start addressing these situations and conversations in a much better manner, since he is gonna mentally mature on this road to success. I mean, the guy is only 22 years old, so him maturing and becoming the best version of himself on his path as an artist is inevitable. But hey, what do you personally think about this discussion that involves Post Malone? I really want to know what you have to say about this whole situation, so definitely drop a comment and let's have a discussion about this. By the way, definitely go and follow me on Instagram. I'll be live streaming there from time to time during this week, so if you are interested in that, then go and follow me over there. But let's have a discussion about this whole Post Malone topic that I talked about in this video. But as always, if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. This channel is all about bringing together people like you who enjoy music and start a discussion on different topics like this. And of course, like the video if you enjoyed it, follow me on all my social media accounts. It's on the screen, and I'm out.